Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I was asked to clarify my position on what I thought of Trump's policies, good versus bad. I'll give you a brief summation. One, our support of Hong Kong. Anytime you want to support a democracy, I could get behind it as long as it's a legitimate type case. We tried invading Venezuela, and when we found out that they had more oil, now all of a sudden, dun da da da, they need to taste of democracy. Defeating ISIS, if they're truly defeated, get us out of there. Bring the boys home. We've been at war longer. I mean, some of the soldiers are younger than we've been at war with the country. It's time to go. I will give Trump credit for Space Force, and that's a little bit of a weird one because when I first heard about it, I was like, dear God, what is this monkey thinking about? However, thank God that there are people smarter than me. Dr. Tyson was on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he basically outlined how having some kind of unit, some kind of branch of the government that was up there taking care of satellites made a lot of sense from the standpoint of you want to protect that aspect of our infrastructure. So I'll give you the win. By the way, Space Force on Netflix, hysterical. Criminal reform. A lot of people have been talking about criminal reform over the years. I think any step in the right direction is a good thing. Now, there are way more negatives than there are positives, at least in my opinion. His stance on abortion is atrocious. I think that it's a woman's right to choose. End of story. Next topic. His stance on not supporting the legalization of weed. States are legalizing it. It's been a tax boom. It could be a multi-billion-dollar business for the nation. If you know the history of weed in this country, it seems a little silly that we're prosecuting people for it. His stance on LGBTQ plus people being in the military, that was a disaster. The bathroom issue, that was another disaster, in my opinion. School choice sounds good on paper, but really what it is, it's a move to transfer taxpayer public money into the hands of private businesses. What's going on in Puerto Rico? They're still banged up, still no aid. His current stand on mail-in voting, I think, is disastrous. The Iran nuclear deal, the deal was working. I think what happened was because it was something from the Obama era, it hurt his feelings. The Green New Deal, during the debate, he talked about how the Green New Deal wants to eliminate cows. No, it doesn't. Pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord, again, rather silly. There's not a lot of positives there. Again, it's my opinion. You can look this stuff up, give it a Google. Biden said that Trump is the worst president in history. You gotta, citation needed with that, because how do you quantify a presidency? What I did was I made a list, positives and negatives. This was just a couple. I went to a couple different websites, and even if you go to the Wikipedia page, they have a timeline broken down each year and each quarter of the year, and you could suss out what you want. Worst president, modern history, maybe, I don't know, but think about the fact that the Bush administration, that's Bush episode 2, got us involved in the war in Iraq and Iran. There's a lot of detail there. Anything that I put here, I'm expressing my opinion. And opinions are like many things, and it may differ from person to person, but it's always good to engage in a conversation. I'll catch you all down the road.